strong believer in term limits. I would limit myself to 3 terms, and they would be back in the crowd just like you are and looking at the next group. I think it's for several reasons. One is because of my understanding of human nature, not me. Anybody sitting up here in the audience could go up there and not be part of the problem if you look at it as a career rather than something limited. It would go to your head, people fawn on you. And once you start thinking of it as a career instead of a duty for a short period of time, that's where the trouble begins. And I disagree respectfully with my friend Paul, because if it would be a really hard effort. I will support an amendment for constitutional term limits, but if you're not willing to limit your own term, it's the same thing as saying no to that question, because if it doesn't happen, you can be there forever, 50 years, 60 years, however long. And I also believe when you have an office, whether it's in Congress or anywhere else at the local level, you take an oath to fulfill that job for the term that you were elected for. I think it's wrong to run for one office while you're holding another office, because everything you do then, there's a temptation. Are you doing it to raise money for the next level? I think if you run for something, you need to take a commitment. You're not going to run for anything else. I would take the pledge to answer your question. At the end of 3 terms, I would not run for Senate or any other job, whether it's county supervisor, United States Senate, or anything else that nobody can question while I'm there. I've taken an oath, and I would fulfill that job for every second I'm there. And I would limit myself, because of human nature, to 3 terms only. I would support a constitutional amendment. But think about it, you're asking people there to limit themselves. I think we won't get 2/3 of the House and the Senate to agree to that. The way to get an amendment on term limits is to do it through 2/3 of the state legislatures, and they get it ratified by 3/4 of the states. Is the only way that make that happen. So I would try that effort, because it would be impossible to get Congress to term limit themselves. And also, there's a direct relation between the lack of term limits and pork barrel spending earmarks. If you look at it, the longer they're there, the more power they have, and the more earmarks they have, which is bad for everybody. So term limits is essential and part of the process if we're going to change Congress and make people continue their oath, whatever job they have, to fulfill that oath and complete that term, and agree not to run for anything else while they're holding one office. Thank you.